A séance was held in the great house of Collinwood, a séance which sent Victoria Winters back on an uncertain and frightening journey to the past, back to the Collins family who lived in the year 1795. Sadness and fear pervade the old Collins mansion on this day. There has been a duel between two men. One of them has been mortally wounded. There are those in the house who believe that witchcraft is at work here, and they have taken steps to see that the witch is found and destroyed.
How is Jeremiah?
Well, the doctor allowed me only a few minutes in the room.
Yes, but how is he?
Still unconscious. Doctor says he's hovering between life and death.
Someone in this house wanted that duel to take place. Someone wants Jeremiah to die.
You're a very superstitious woman, aren't you, Countess?
I tell you, it is true.
And I say with all due respect, it's nonsense. Considering the way Barnabas was treated, that duel was unavoidable.
One of us had better answer it, Lieutenant. I have learned not to wait for the servants in this house to perform their simple duties.
I am here to see Miss Abigail Collins. She is expecting me.
Won't you come in, please?
You must be the Reverend Trask.
I am?
I am the Countess Dupre, and this is Lieutenant Forbes.
Lieutenant?
You have not come a moment too soon.
I find that is usually the case.
If you'll follow me, I'll show you the way to Jeremiah Collins' room.
Jeremiah?
The Reverend wishes to see Miss Abigail Collins.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just assumed that Abigail had sent for him because of Jeremiah's condition.
No, Lieutenant. Reverend Trask has come to find and destroy the witch in this house.
Countess, may I ask by whose authority this gentleman has come here?
By the authority vested in me by the Almighty.
The Almighty. Well, forgive me, Mr. Trask, but what church do you represent?
I have my own congregation in Salem.
You didn't answer the question.
He is not here to answer questions, but to ask them.
In other words, the Reverend is a self-appointed cleric and has not been ordained by any church at all.
I have been asked to come here by Miss Abigail Collins to exorcise a witch, and that is what I intend to do. Kindly tell Miss Collins that I'm here.
Lieutenant Forbes, I thought I told you
Quiet
never...
for a minute. Just listen. We must get you out of this house at once.
What are you talking
I told
about?
you the other day you might be needing a friend. Well, you do now, and I'm volunteering to help you.
And I told you the other day that your manners could see some improving.
Miss Winters, you are in danger. I didn't realize how seriously Abigail and the Countess were taking this witchcraft business.
Oh, it's that again.
Yes, and don't try to dismiss it too lightly.
Well, you don't think I should take it seriously, do you?
You'd better. Abigail has sent for a witch hunter. He's in this house downstairs right now, and he'll be wanting to see you in a few minutes.
Well, what do you suggest that I do?
Well, look, we can go out the back way and saddle up 2 horses. I can take you into Collinsport. You can stay at the inn for a few
Lieutenant,
days.
you'll have to forgive me if I'm amused by your persistence. As a matter of fact, I admire it.
Now, listen to me. This is not what you think it is. Now, I'm really trying to help you.
And I don't need your help, thank you.
Abigail and the Countess are convinced that you're a witch, and they brought this man here to prove it. Now, you've got to get out of here.
Well, why should I run away? I'm not a witch, and therefore I have nothing to fear. Except perhaps you.
All right. Stay and find out for yourself. I've seen these fanatics before. I know how they work. I wouldn't look forward to it if I were you.
I think I can take care of myself. More than adequate.
Perhaps. But I wouldn't count on it.
You both believe that witchcraft has been practiced in this house.
We are convinced of it.
You have evidence to support your suspicions?
I knew the moment I saw her. When I looked into her eyes, I knew that girl was possessed by the devil.
I personally would accept your judgment, Abigail, but we shall need something more substantial than one person's word, however trustworthy that word may be. We must have tangible evidence of an act of sorcery.
We have all the evidence you need. The signs are unmistakable.
Tell me about them.
We have witnessed strange afflictions which doctors of medicine could not explain, and mysterious disappearances.
Disappearances?
My brother Joshua was standing right there over a week ago. Jeremiah was in the room with him, when suddenly Joshua disappeared in thin air, and in his place was a large black cat. She had used black magic and changed him into a cat. Then days later, I saw the cat upstairs in her room. Suddenly, the cat gave a terrible scream and was surrounded by smoke. And when the smoke cleared, there was Joshua come back to us. And the cat was nowhere to be seen. No one can tell me that my brother was not the victim of a witch's evil ways.
I agree with you, Abigail. And I share your conviction that we must act quickly. I should like to question this young woman you suspect. What is her name?
Her name is Victoria Winters.
Victoria Winters. She is not a member of the family.
She was employed about 2 weeks ago as Sarah's governess. I warned my brother Joshua not to let her in the house, but he refused to listen to me.
What is all this?
Oh,
What's
Reverend
going on here?
Trask, this is my nephew, Barnabas Collins.
How do you do, sir?
How do you do? Aunt Abigail, did I hear you say that you think that Miss Winters is a witch?
You did?
That's absurd. The girl is no more a witch than I am.
That's for Reverend Trask to determine.
There is nothing to determine here one way or another. Miss Winters is a very fine young lady. She is efficient and dedicated, and she has endeared herself to almost everyone here in the family.
The devil does not always appear to us in the face of evil, Mr. Collins. He sometimes appears in the guise of innocence and purity.
May I ask what evidence you have that Miss Winters has actually committed wrongdoing?
I am told that certain strange things have happened in this house of late.
That's true. But none of them have been caused by witchcraft.
Barnabas, how can you say that? You yourself were a victim of black magic. He very nearly died, Reverend.
Oh? Can you describe this act of black magic, Mr. Collins?
My affliction was not caused by black magic.
Yes, it was. One moment you were as normal as ever, and then you began to choke. Someone had cast a spell on you.
What nonsense.
Nonsense, is it? Perhaps you have a more logical explanation for this incident?
It could have happened for any number of reasons.
But even the doctor of medicine was completely mystified after he examined you.
And how did you recover from this affliction?
I don't know. It went away as suddenly as it came.
I find that most interesting.
Barnabas, how do you account for all the things that have been happening to Josette? How do you account for the strange way she behaved when the brand appeared on her hand?
Brand? What kind of a brand was it, Countess?
It was in the form of a pitchfork.
A well-known signature of the devil. Who is Josette?
Josette Dupre is my niece. She was engaged to Barnabas.
Was engaged?
Two days ago, she ran off with Jeremiah Collins and married him. And I can account for her behavior very simply, Countess. Her action was not the result of witchcraft. It was the result of a deficiency in her own character. She is a fickle and deceitful woman.
That is not true, Barnabas.
Do you admit this in spite of what's happened? I realize you are her own flesh and blood, but at least do me the courtesy of admitting the facts honestly.
We do not know the facts yet.
She and Jeremiah betrayed me. That is an indisputable fact.
Barnabas, I told you the day I arrived here that there was an evil woman in this house. And what has happened since has convinced me that I was right.
Mr. Collins, from all that I have heard, I am inclined to agree with your aunt. I believe that an evil spirit in some form has invaded this house. And if it is not soon
Mr. Trask, you have heard nothing more than the opinions of two women with rather vivid imaginations.
Reverend, we're wasting time. I think you should go up and attend to this girl now.
Aunt Abigail, I will not allow Miss Winters to be treated in this manner.
You are not the master of this house, Barnabas.
And you are not its mistress. Now, if you insist upon conducting this minor inquisition, you must consult my father first.
He has been consulted, and he has given me free rein to conduct this matter as I see fit. Come, Reverend, I will take you to her room.
Miss Winters, where were you when Barnabas Collins was seized by a fit of choking 2 weeks ago?
I was here in my room.
You know what caused that seizure, don't you?
No, of course not.
Now, there is no reason to lie to me, girl.
I'm not lying.
I am not here to harm you, only to help you.
I can't believe you're all serious about this.
We consider witchcraft a very serious matter. It'll do you no good to evade the Reverend's questions. He knows how to deal with people like you.
I knew you were coming here to ask me some questions, but I never thought it was going to
You
be
knew before we arrived at your door that we were coming here?
Yes.
How did you know it?
Never mind.
I asked you how you knew.
Take your hand off of me.
There is possession here. The signs are unmistakable. How long have you been in league with the devil?
Now you've just stopped this, because I'm not in league with anyone. I've never done a thing to harm anyone in this house.
You have tried and you have succeeded. You have carried out the devil's instructions since the day you arrived here.
That's ridiculous.
You have used your spells and potions and incantations to inflict bodily harm and cause mental aberrations.
I've done no such thing. Why won't you listen to what I'm saying?
You caused the disappearance of the master of this house through an act of black magic.
No!
You have used your trickery to sow the seeds of dissension and hatred among the members of the Collins family, a God-fearing people who would never willingly do the devil's bidding.
Will you please get out of here and leave me alone?
Sit down, girl. My work is far from finished. Abigail, the clothing.
Oh, yes.
My clothes, how did you get them?
I want you to tell me how and where you got them.
It's none of your business.
Is it true you were wearing these when you arrived here?
I refuse to tell you.
Yes, it's true, Reverend. I saw her wearing that clothing.
No morally minded woman would allow herself to be exposed in clothing as indecent as this.
There is nothing indecent about my clothing.
Where did you get them?
I won't tell you.
You will tell me before I'm through with you.
What do you mean?
You cannot resist the will of God for long, girl. You cannot hide your evil ways from me. I have seen too many others like you. Poor, wretched creatures. Their bodies alive with an evil spirit that is beyond their control. You cannot help what you are. You have lost your free will. It is not you we must punish. It is Satan. For he has reached out and taken wanton possession of your body. Satan possesses and commands, and poor earthly flesh obeys. But the hand of God will intervene The hand of God will cleanse your body of the seeds of evil Satan has planted there. Get down on your knees and pray to the heavens for your salvation.
I told you not to touch me.
Don't you understand, girl? You must not resist. You must pray to the heavens for your salvation.
I told you to get out of here and leave me alone.
You dare strike a man of God!
He's no man of God. He's a fanatic. If anyone is possessed by the devil, he is.
Reverend Trask.
Now you listen to me, girl. You be quiet and listen carefully. If you will not bring yourself to God, then I will bring God to you.
Let me out of here, somebody, please. I don't...
Abigail, I must take her out of this house. Please get me something to tie her hands.
At once.
Why must you take her out of this house?
Her presence will still be felt if she remains here.
Oh, here. Reverend.
I don't understand. Where will you take her?
To the woods, away from those she can bring harm to. Then I will put her to the ultimate test.
But I do not understand.
First, I will prove, beyond all doubt, that she is a witch. And then I will exorcise the evil spirits from her body.
How are you going to prove that she is a witch?
I have my ways, Countess. I have my ways.
Where has he taken her, and why has he gone so long?
I have faith that the Reverend Trask will do his duty as he sees fit.
I fail to understand why it was necessary to abduct the poor girl.
You question the wisdom of Reverend Trask?
I am afraid of what he might do to her.
There's no reason to be afraid.
I thought he was unnecessarily violent upstairs.
Well, he had no choice. You saw the way she behaved.
Forgive me, but I think that under the same circumstance, I might have behaved the same way.
Tell me, Countess, are you having a change of heart? You don't believe that that girl is innocent?
She denied everything so strenuously, Abigail.
Well, they always do. It's as Reverend Trask says. They cannot help themselves.
I would feel much better if I knew where he is taking her and what he is planning to do to prove her guilt.
I will give you one last chance to confess. Repudiate the devil now, and the Almighty will bring you salvation.
You're insane.
You make your own salvation very difficult.
What are you going to do to me?
You will stay here overnight. You will remain tied to this tree, one of God's living creatures. If indeed you are guilty of witchcraft, the tree will be dead by morning.
Please untie me and take me back to the house.
You are afraid to go through with this test, aren't you?
I'm afraid to stay out here alone overnight.
It is the fear of God you feel. The fear of being exposed as the witch you are.
Please don't leave me here alone.
I adjure thee, thou old serpent, by the judge of the quick and the dead, by thy maker and the maker of the world, by him who hath power to put thee into hell, that thou depart in haste from the flesh of this woman. Go out, thou seducer. Go out, thou transgressor, full of deceit and wile. enemy of virtue, persecutor of innocence. In the name of the Lord, I command thee to cast thyself back into the darkness from whence thee came, and where thy everlasting destruction awaits thee.
Somebody, please help me! Please!
You may scream the devil's words all you wish, but there will be none to hear you. None but the Lord.